Hey guys, so today I'm coming at you guys with how to make super easy vegan cookies, because we all love cookies, but we don't want egg and regular milk in them. We want them to be healthy, a little healthier, and just better for our stomachs. So I used a few simple ingredients. I'll tell you guys about them in a few. I kind of ran this video experimentally because I wanted to test different textures and what ingredients will change the texture basically. So I have 3 test subjects. The first is changing the milk, the second is changing the flour, and the third is changing the butter. So each one will have a variation and we'll see which one comes out best. Usually when I make cookies, I just kind of mix it in and taste it as I go. And I know they say that you shouldn't taste like raw flour and stuff, but anyways, so normally I just freestyle it and I like how they come out that way, but I kind of wanted to have a set recipe to just make it easier on myself and just keep it consistent all the time. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to show you guys a little chart that I made myself, and that'll kind of guide where the recipe is going. So let's go. Okay, so I have the 3 subjects in different bowls. This is the flour, the blue one is the milk, and the clear one is the butter. So I already have the butter there so that it softens and I can easily dissolve the sugar in it before pouring in the rest of the ingredients. So we have this brown sugar, and I will be using a tablespoon of it. So the sugar, the amount of salt, and baking soda is going to stay the same in all the cookies. So there will be no change in that. And now we're going to take half a teaspoon and grab the cane sugar, and again it's going to be the same for each one, so I'm putting a little scoop inside of each of my subjects. Next up, we have the flour. So for this, the measurements will be different. So the measurements are half a cup for my flour subject, and then 1/3 of a cup for both of the other ones. I'm gonna take this almighty chopstick and stir this shit up. Remember, you have to go super fast if you don't have a mixer, so just try to go as fast as me. I have these hand warm-ups that I do, so you might want to do warm-ups so that your hands don't cramp up when you're mixing. So yeah, just whip it all up just like that. Whip, 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 whip. Next up, we have organic unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I'm gonna take a tablespoon for the first one, 2 tablespoons for the second one, which is the milk subject, and then 1 tablespoon for the butter one, which is the one all the way to the left. Again, stir that shit up. So I did have to go back and add more sugar because it didn't have enough sugar. And here I'm showing you guys the textures. So we see that this one is kind of more soupy. The one before that was like very moldable, almost like slime. And this last one, we can see it looks kind of creamy and actually very buttery. It looks almost like frosting. Last ingredient, this is optional. I am adding chocolate chips. Since we already have like the base for the flavor of the cookie, this part you could just honestly add anything. So if you don't like chocolate chips, go ahead and add cranberries, whatever. I'm setting the oven to 350 and waiting it for it to preheat. Now I'm adding parchment paper so that the cookies don't stick, and I don't need to use any extra oil that might factor in what I'm trying to do here in my test. So this is the flour one. It has 1 tablespoon of milk, 1 tablespoon of butter, and a half a cup of flour. And if you see the consistency, I can play with it almost like slime. And I'm gonna lay it flat because it's just not gonna lay flat on its own. Next up, we have the milk trial with 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of butter, and a 1/3 cup of flour. So this one, we could see that it easily pours out. It's almost like an actual pancake. Last but not least, we have the butter subject, which has 1 tablespoon of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, and a 1/3 cup of flour. This one pours out, but we can see it kind of sticks together, so that looks good. That looks closer to regular cookie dough than the other two do. And this is what they look like before throwing them in. I'm gonna flatten this one out a little more, and we're gonna throw them in. There we go. Also, we are going to set a timer for 12 minutes. Mine says 12 minutes, 4 seconds. That's just what it was at. A little longer than a few minutes later. So here we are checking on them. They look nice. There's a closer look. We can see which ones kind of look like cookies. And we are ready to take them out now. This is the final result. This is what they look like. We can see that the one all the way to the left looks close as like a cookie. This one is very doughy. This is the milk subject. We can tell it actually looks like a pancake. And the butter one, which is so far my favorite. So I'm actually going to be breaking them up for you guys so that you guys see the texture on the inside. This is the flour one right here. It almost looked like it didn't cook on the inside fully. It's very doughy and kind of rough. It does not look good. Next, we have the milk subject, which literally looks like a pancake. It tears off like a pancake. It doesn't look too bad, but it's not a cookie. And here's the butter one, which has what looks like the texture. It breaks off like the texture, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. And Ike is already stealing them. So I have to go ahead and eat before I try all these desserts. I'm eating couscous and veggies. So I'm looking at these cookies and I already can tell that I don't really like the texture of them. I did taste them a little bit. So yeah, this whole project was just... So, sorry Ashley. I'm gonna show you how I make my cookies. I think it's better when I just freehand it and make my own. But since none of my recipes were good, I decided to make another batch right here. This batch, I literally just threw in the ingredients that I think should be in there. I'm looking at the texture, see how I like it. Depending on all the ingredients that you have, the cookie will come out different. So like a lot of milk will make it like pancakey. Like a lot of butter will make it like kind of thicker and like chewier, stickier. So I like them kind of like chewy and sticky, so it has a good amount of butter, a good amount of sugar, very little milk, only like a tablespoon of milk. I guess that part stays the same. And yeah, so I'll show you guys how these come out when I finish. So yeah, that's what the dough looks like regular cookie dough. So here they are. I think they look freaking beautiful. They're about to go in the oven. A few changes that I made. So the oven is now on 400 instead of 330. And to these, I also added a pinch of salt and some of this, which I didn't forget, but I just chose not to add it into the first batch. So hopefully the taste is a little better, the texture is a little better. We'll see. Let's go. Okay, I went ahead and took them out. They definitely already look way better than the other ones. Let's get a closer look. So it looks like the higher temperature made them get a little more golden brown. Once they start cooling down, we'll open them up and taste them. So see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna try one. Oh wow, that already looks so much better. It holds like an actual cookie. Wow. Wow. Okay. I did something here. So this just goes to show, stop following the recipe. Life does not have a recipe to give you. Just do your own thing.